Donald Trump's cabinet picks are supposed to disclose certain information to the Senate prior to the Senate confirming their nominations during these hearings, right? And the information they're supposed to provide is supposed to disclose whether or not there are potential conflicts of interest. Except the issue is that the cabinet is lagging in disclosing these potential conflicts of interest. Now, Trump's nominees have failed to provide the Senate with the information it needs to properly proceed with these confirmation hearings. On matters related to conflicts of interest and financial disclosures, nominees must comply with the Ethics in Government Act, which Congress passed in 1978 after the Watergate scandal. Now, there's a little bit of an issue with this act. It's not supposed to go into effect until after Donald Trump's inauguration. But in the past, presidents realized how important it is for these cabinet picks to provide the information so the Senate can confirm these nominees prior to Inauguration Day. But unfortunately, that's not what's happening in this case. So the quirk of the next 2 weeks is that the Act's requirements only apply to individuals who have been formally nominated by the president, an action that can't take place until the president is sworn into office. Okay, so this is all really important because consider the fact that Donald Trump himself has some serious issues with conflicts of interest. We want to make sure that the president doesn't do things that favors himself and his business interests as opposed to the American people. And the same type of situation applies to a lot of his cabinet picks. A lot of them are not representatives of draining the swamp. They're people who have significant business ties, and we want to make sure that the Senate has all the information they need prior to confirming them.
So let's break this down and tell you what's fair and not fair. So Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans in the Senate, says Democrats should stop making quote-unquote procedural complaints and grow up. Now, this is part of why I can't stand politicians. Now, on TV, they tell you that they're honorable gentlemen and they all mean well and they're wonderful to hang out with on the cocktail circuit. But for the rest of us, they grate on all of our nerves. Because Mitch McConnell demanded these kind of procedural issues under Obama.
Right.
He was in the minority, and as Obama was coming into office in 2009, and he said, I need ethics reviews and I need all these procedures followed. Now he says, grow up, we don't do procedure here. We don't do ethics reviews, we don't do any of that. So it is such blatant, gross hypocrisy. Now, it's not like the Democrats don't do that. It's so annoying to anyone who follows politics and reports on it honestly, how both sides switch immediately depending on who's in power. So the Democrats say, we don't need much procedure when they're in charge. And then when they're not in charge, they're like, we need procedure. We need ethics, right? And so, yes, Democrats and Republicans do it. Now, in this case, is this go beyond the normal annoying political hypocrisy? And the answer is yes, and I'll prove it to you. So there's 3 layers of this ethics, okay? One is what Obama instituted was he wanted to make sure there was revolving door restrictions, which means, hey, if you get into government and then you're going to go back into the private sector and you're going to make money off of it, and you're going to keep going public-private, I don't want you to make money off of the American people, so I'm going to put some restrictions in. Now, that's a tradition started by Barack Obama, which is great. If you want to change, that is at least one of the few things that Barack Obama did towards change and getting the corruption to end to some small degree. I wish he'd done a lot more. But that is not the law. So Trump can ignore that. He can say, my guys are going to make money like crazy going in and out of government. I don't have to follow that. True, that's true, okay? Second layer is tradition followed by all Republicans and Democrats where the FBI actually does background investigations into all of the nominees, okay? Now, Trump apparently is not going to do that either. He's like, no, my guys are crooked. Why would I want the FBI to look into their background? So, I mean, think about it. If you're a Republican voter, if you had Obama or any other, imagine if Hillary Clinton won. And she's like, nope, I'm not going to let the FBI look into the background of any of my guys. What would you say? You'd say, crooked Hillary, we knew it.
Put her in jail, lock
her up. So now Trump's saying, no, you don't get to investigate any of my guys. But that is not the law. So that's, as a voter, take that into account when you analyze Trump next time around and all the Republicans. They don't like background checks because it might be that their nominees are crooked. Okay, so take that into account, but it's not the law. Okay, it's tradition by both parties. And Trump doesn't care about tradition. He thinks conflict of interest. I don't care. I'm going to make money. My guys are going to make money. Okay, we get that. But the third part that Anna read to you, that is the law. Okay, so you must do financial disclosures. You must give it in for an ethics review. They have to look at any actual or apparent conflicts of interest, and there must be a disclosure and agreement certified by the Office of Government Ethics. It's not optional. That's the law. That's a 1978 law. So this is not a hard question. So what should the Democrats do? What should the media do? Okay. Democrats should say, no, we have to advise and consent. We say no to every single nominee that has not gone through the proper legal protocol. I'm not going to let you break the law. Why would I sign off on the opposing party breaking the law on day one? No way. No one who doesn't go through it and actually follow the rule of law gets confirmed. Not even close. Okay. What should the media do? My God, if you call this even, you're so grotesque.
But they will. They absolutely will. That's exactly what's happening right now. There's already complete comparisons between Donald Trump's administration and President Barack Obama's administration. And you just mentioned what the clear differences were. Obama's cabinet picks gave all of this information to the Senate. They gave all the disclosures necessary in order to get confirmed. Donald Trump's people are not doing that. And look, it's interesting to me because all we heard at the RNC over and over again was how Donald Trump is the person who is going to bring lawlessness back to the country, or lawfulness back to the country, right? But in reality, when he talks about people following the law, he's just specifically talking about those who have absolutely no power, the poorest of the poor, minorities, those who have been disenfranchised. When it comes to him and his goons and his cronies, no. Lawlessness is totally acceptable. Yeah. It's incredible.
So the talking point that Republicans are using is, well, 7 of Barack Obama's nominees were put in on day one. Look at how great the Republicans are. Now, the part they're not telling you is, yeah, they were confirmed on the first day because 24 of them had already done every single background check we talked about, including all the optional ones, before Obama came into office. So that's what you're normally supposed to do. You're supposed to go through this review. Now, by the way, 5 of Trump's guys have already done that. So credit to them and no issue there at all. In fact, I was surprised by one of them, Rex Tillerson, the potential nominee for Secretary of State, the guy who has a lot of conflict of interest issues, current CEO of ExxonMobil, already went through the process. Great, fantastic. Then let's have hearings on him. And that's supposed to be an important and maybe contentious hearings, but we could definitely move forward to hearings on Rex Tillerson. But the ones who didn't follow the law, if the media calls it even and goes, well, I mean, the Republicans say that 7 of Obama's nominees were confirmed right away, who cares what they say? What's the fact? What is the truth? You're supposed to be a journalist. So if you see on TV them getting the Republicans get away with that talking point, you know that you're not looking at journalists and they don't care about reporting and they're not doing their job. So the reality is you should give all the context as we just did here. And under no circumstances should anyone be confirmed or have a hearing until they actually follow the law. Help us with Operation Watchdog. Help us hire 4 new reporting teams. We could be the watchers on the wall. Make sure we keep Trump and the establishment in check. TYTnetwork.com/go.